Hey mamas, welcome to today's workout. We're doing a 20-minute prenatal full body stretch. So we're gonna release all those muscles that get tense and tight from pregnancy in 20 minutes. We've got 1 minute each exercise. We're gonna start on a child's pose. So knees come wide, toes together. I want you to push your hips back, extend your arms, and then just let everything go. You can take your knees as wide as you want to. Just let your belly hang, let your chest fall. Try to release anything you're holding on to here. So if you're gripping through your fingers, you're clenching your jaw, you're wrinkling your forehead, try to just let that go and breathe. Send that energy, that oxygen to your muscles. And we're going to hold every pose today for about a minute. But feel free if you need a break to take one. We're going to all just moving at our own pace today. All right, we're going to take that back arm. We're going to thread the needle in that child's pose. So arm goes underneath the front arm, palm up, lay the side of your head on the ground, extend that front arm. And then we're trying to create space, opening up the upper spine. So I want you to try to open up that shoulder blade. Think about like pulling the blade off the muscle, if that makes sense. So we're going onto the side of the head, maybe even slightly to the back of the head. Feeling that rotation. Still keeping the hips back. And again, breathing here. This might feel a little more intense. But try to just release any tension you're feeling here. We're going to do that same thing, other side. Threading that needle. Pulling that shoulder blade away from the muscle, feeling that upper spine just really open up. And we're gonna move on next to a cat-cow. So coming onto the hands and knees, we're gonna bring those hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're gonna tuck, lift up, and then draw the belly in, round that spine. Moving at your own pace, we're just letting the belly hang, looking up. Try to just flow through this one, make it a continuous movement. We're moving on now to a frog stretch. I'm going to show you this one from the front. So we're going to take those knees really wide, flex the feet, so heels are behind the knees, and then we're going to slowly work our way down to the forearms. Now, if that's too intense right away, you're like, my inner thighs are tight, you can stay up on your hands, or if you feel like you can go deeper, you can go deeper. So you're just trying to let those inner thighs release. You can just let your belly hang here. If you need to, you could put a pillow underneath or a blanket to rest on. And even though we're propped up on our forearms, I can't go all the way down. but I want you to try to relax your neck. Try to just breathe into it. In every exercise, we're trying to release that tension. So anything you're holding on to, try to let it go. And we're gonna move on to a hip flexor stretch. So we're gonna bring one leg forward, let's say the right leg. We're gonna tuck that back hip under and then squeeze the glute to bring this hip forward. So let me show you what I mean. Tuck, squeeze. Then we're taking this arm up, reaching up and over. So I want you to actively reach up and over here. So you're pulling your rib off your hip. And if you want to, you can use that opposite hand to kind of give it a little pull. And that will help increase that stretch, that range of motion. Now just breathe into it. It's a very active stretch, this one, because you're not only tucking that hip and engaging your glute, but you're pulling that arm up and over. You're feeling that in your hips, your lats, side body. Everything is going into this one. We're gonna go to a deep runner's lunge. So now take this front leg, walk it forward a little bit. I'll show you from the side here. So your hands go on the inside of the leg, inside of the foot, and then you're taking this back hip, pressing it toward the mat. So we're really focusing on relieving the front of that thigh, those quads. And if you're flexible enough or you feel good, you can walk down to your forearms, go a little bit deeper. This is about as deep as I can get here. Don't forget about that breath. Deep inhales and exhales. Releasing that tension. And we're gonna move on to our modified pigeon. So for this one, I'm gonna face forward again. We're gonna go to 90 degrees. Flex the feet, pull that front heel toward your inner thigh. You can stay right here. You can slowly walk forward. You can be on your elbows. You can go all the way down. This is where I'm gonna stay today, but gauge it. If you wanna go deeper, you can. If you're pregnant and you're in your third trimester like me, you might not be able to go as deep because of your belly. That's okay. Do what feels good. Try not to just lean over to the side. Try to keep your chest centered over that front leg. So you can really feel that side glute release here. We're gonna add a little twist. So we're gonna take this back leg, cross it over the front leg. So your foot's on the ground now. Take this arm, place it across your thigh, and then twist. Now again, the more pregnant you are, the harder it's gonna be to pull this knee in. That's okay. I want you to focus on walking this hand back, twisting through your upper spine, and then just being mindful of your belly. If your belly's pretty big like mine, you don't twist as much, you don't pull that leg in as much. You know the drill. Just do what you can. But if you can, try to press into this thigh right here, and that's gonna release that piriformis, the biceps femoris, all those muscles in the back of the leg, the glute. Then if you can, look over the back shoulder. You don't want to strain your neck, but just to add a little more rotation. And we're gonna move to that hip flexor stretch, this time other leg. I remember which leg I did the last time. Squeeze that glute, tuck the hip under, arm up, reach, stretch, little pull. Again, we're being really active here. This is one of the more active stretches because we're really trying to engage a lot of different things at once to try to create that release. Sometimes stretching is relaxing, but sometimes it's work to get those muscles that are really tight and tense to give up that tension. Try to relax, close your eyes, don't think about the time. Sometimes a minute can feel like a long time when you're doing something, especially if it's something that's challenging. For me, flexibility is a lot more challenging than other things at times. Into that deep runner's lunge. Front foot walks forward, hands on the inside. Push that back hip toward the mat. Really use that breath to allow you to get deeper in the pose. You might feel some resistance at first. Your body doesn't want to do it. It's uncomfortable, but it's good to push through. Use your breath to allow you to do that. When you're pregnant, that's gonna pay dividends when you go through labor and childbirth too. Using your breath to control things. All right, going to that opposite pigeon. So flex the front foot, pull the heel in, melting toward the floor. Yeah, if you can relax under extreme physical discomfort and stress, that's only gonna benefit you. So how do you practice that? You exercise. You do things that are challenging, and it doesn't have to be something crazy. For me, it's flexibility stuff that's the most challenging because my mind doesn't want to do something that burns for a minute that I can't control, that I can't just do it faster. This you really have to let go, and that requires a lot more strength sometimes. All right, we're gonna move on to that spinal twist. So taking that back leg up and over, using that hand, walking it back, twisting, pushing this thigh towards your belly as much as you can. Might not be a whole lot. For me, I'm just doing a tiny little push. I'm not pushing into my stomach. I'm just bringing that knee in so I can feel that stretch back here. It's not about getting your stomach closer to your leg. It's about feeling that stretch. Lift that chest nice and tall. All right, now to a downward dog, everyone's favorite. So hands shoulder width, feet hip width, push those hips up and back. You can just hold here, or if you want to, pedal the feet a little bit, work those heels toward the ground. Just let those hamstrings, those calves, they're gonna resist you a lot right here at the start. Let them just relax a little bit. And try pushing through the heels of your hands. Try to create more space in that upper body. Pushing the hips a little higher, driving the heels down a little more. And we're gonna walk those feet toward the hands, or you can meet in the middle. Going to a forward fold, so your feet can be as wide as you want to here. Play around with what feels good. You might feel, again, your hamstrings, your calves might still be really tight here, so if you want to, you can put your hands on your shins or on your legs, whatever feels comfortable, or you can take them down and you can just bend the knees a little bit and start to slowly just work them to being straighter and straighter, or again, what helps too is taking the feet wider will lessen that pressure on the hamstrings. I know for me, I'm always tight in the back of my body, the back of my legs especially, hamstrings and calves. So I gotta start wide and kind of bend my knees and straighten it. Just play around with it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Try to relax your neck here, let the head fall. And we're gonna move to an IT band stretch. So you're gonna bring those feet a little bit closer together if you can. I want you to straighten one leg and bend the other. So let's straighten the front leg and bend the back. And then we're gonna turn toward that front leg, put your hand on the shin, other hand on your hip, and just turn your chest. So we're straightening this leg and trying to keep your weight forward, not shift back. So we're releasing that IT band, opening up the hip right here. You're gonna feel it. This one's pretty intense, I'm not gonna lie. For me, my IT bands get very tight during pregnancy, and so this one's tough for me to hold. But again, play around with it. If you need a break, take a break. It's not about being perfect, it's just stretching. There's a little more fluidity with this than some other things. All right, we're gonna do the same thing, other side. So straighten that back leg, bend the front, hand on the back shin, opening up that hip, turning the chest, trying to lift that chest toward the ceiling. Ooh. Man, oh man, if your hips are tight, this one will take care of it. Keep trying to rotate that chest a little bit more if you can. Just get a little bit more out of it. We're over halfway through. And we're gonna move to a standing position. So carefully come up. We're gonna clasp the hands behind the back and open up that chest. So pulling the shoulders down, pulling the hands down so the arms are extended. Trying to roll those shoulders back and down. Just creating space in that chest. Try not to arch your back too much here. Just keep those knees soft. All right, halfway through, we're gonna switch that clasp. So reverse the direction of the clasp, go there again. And we're gonna finish with our last two stretches, side bends. So come to the front, feet come a little wider than those hips. We're gonna take the arms, clasp them, push them up, reach over to the right, push through those hands, and then if you want to, you can release that bottom arm and reach through the top. You can keep the both arms up together if you'd like, but kind of like that hip flexor stretch, it's really active here. So we're reaching, trying to connect, disconnect that rib from the hip, pulling up and over, stretching. We're leaning to the side, but we're still controlling that movement, not collapsing over. Really good for releasing those round ligaments, this one. Harder than it looks, right? Especially during pregnancy. Anything that throws off your balance is gonna be challenging. And we're gonna go to the other side, same thing. Clasp those hands, push high, reach and push to the corner, and keep that top arm reaching, bottom arm comes under the belly. You can even look up toward your inner elbow, or look wherever's comfortable, really. Continuing to actively reach, Breathing into this stretch here. We're almost there. There we have it. Got a crop top going now. We are done with our prenatal stretch workout. I hope you guys enjoyed that and feel a lot of relief from all that tension you're carrying around with being pregnant. So if you want more stretch workouts, I've got another few coming on my channel, as well as all sorts of workouts to keep you healthy and fit throughout your pregnancy, plus into postpartum. So let me know what you think of this one in the comments, what else you'd like to see, and I will see you back here next time.